We're coming up on 4 years since the release of Half-Life Alyx. A little event that kind of got buried in all the Half-Life noise was Valve accidentally leaving public some press builds of Half-Life Alyx for anyone that was able to use a command line tool, Steam Depot Downloader. This tool allows individuals to download earlier versions of games if you have the correct ID for that version. And some press builds, some earlier builds of Half-Life Alyx by only a few weeks that were sent out to the media in order to create the reviews and previews, were there. Those builds still had the ability to play the game without VR in a really janky, unfinished way. This came with a set of Half-Life 2 weapons. The models weren't there, but the logic was. And back in the day, I made a video talking about how this was an avenue for people to be able to experience Half-Life Alyx without virtual reality, with the major caveat of it didn't actually work in the way that you would want it to. You couldn't really experience Half-Life Alyx. More so, you could kind of run around the levels and shoot the enemies a little bit. Well, fast forward to 2023, and now we have the Half-Life Alyx NoVR mod. This is probably the largest overhaul to Half-Life Alyx I have yet seen. It truly does allow the player to go from the beginning to the end of Half-Life Alyx and experience, I'd say, about 80% of the features that were originally intended by the developers. And this video is sponsored by Wanted Dead. It's a hack and slash cyberpunk action game from the brand new publisher 110 Industries. It's developed by the same team behind titles such as Ninja Gaiden or Dead or Alive, and it kind of invokes the spirit of PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 era classics that went unnoticed by the gaming community. This is not a multiplayer microtransaction-laden experience. This is a single-player game that very much reminds me of Deadly Premonition, Lollipop Chainsaw, friggin' what's the one in the mall? You have a couple of guns, you have the sword, you have a bunch of different combos and moves that combine those two items. One moment you're ordering enough breakfast for 15 people. The next moment you're not gonna wait for the boss. We're gonna go in guns blazing. Everybody follow me. Who's in? It reminds me of, yeah, the kind of stuff that you would have played the late PS2 era, early Xbox 360 era, heavy hack and slash adventure thing. It's like 8 to 10 hours long, like a billion mini games, karaoke, ramen eating competitions, spaceship shooters. The first PC patch is live, enhancing your gaming experience. Steam players, you're in for a treat now. Console players, your turn in just a few weeks. Currently, the game is 50% off until January 4th on Steam. Wanted Dead is available on the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and 5, and the Epic Games Store. Act now. Click the link in the description, grab your copy, and dive into the thrilling chaos. Thank you so much, Wanted Dead, for sponsoring this video, and again, check out the link down in the description below. And let's get right back to it. Most recently, only a few days before recording, wrist pockets were fully implemented, allowing users to play through the entire game without a single soft lock. I spent some time in this mod and played from the beginning all the way up to right before Jeff. After a while, I forgot that I was playing a non-VR conversion mod. It works. Now, because Half-Life Alyx was very much developed to be baby's first VR game, a major critique that a lot of people have, it doesn't really feel like a sequel to Half-Life 2. It has the spirit of Half-Life, but it doesn't really have the run, think, shoot, live mentality. It's more walk, rummage, shoot, live, which in VR is exactly what you want. A fast-paced game such as Half-Life would absolutely kill newbie VR players. So a Half-Life 2 run around with a bunch of different weapons doesn't really work. Half-Life Alyx, you got 3 weapons, you can upgrade those weapons, bada bing, bada boom, that's it. This is an incredible community effort. This is really something special. You can honestly do pretty much everything that is expected of the player when it comes to interacting with your environment. It is obvious that a lot of work is being put into the animations of the weaponry and the interactable objects within the world. Opening lockers and drawers is really working well. Solving the puzzles are either skipped entirely, or for things like the toner puzzle where you trace the lines and try and connect the electrical wires, had to be cut back a bit, but still very much work. You can upgrade your weaponry, you can find your resin, you can use the gravity gloves by just hitting your use key on an item, even if it's really far away. It is intuitive. I really enjoy this. And the cherry on top is that this works with all of the Half-Life Alyx workshop stuff. Obviously, if you were to put in a weapon replacer, the animations that they have set for the 2D Alyx hands won't necessarily work right with the new weaponry, but any any of the maps, you can just mount and play. And in fact, the developers have a collection on the workshop specifically for the approved and tested maps. I'm sure the majority of them will still work. In the most recent update, the wrist pockets have special hotkeys. So if you have a grenade in your pocket, you just hit the button and it immediately throws that grenade. The balancing is far on the player's side. So I actually recommend using things like the Alyx Merciless mod, which is a very popular workshop add-on that increases the difficulty of all artificial intelligence enemies. It's incredible, and it works phenomenally well with the NoVR mod since it increases the difficulty, which is already needed. Oh, it really is a Half-Life experience. It's a different one, and it's one that a lot of you were probably never able to experience. Now you can. All previous versions of NoVR had some caveats, but it is finally at a point, now that this has had the wrist pockets update, where it's fully playable. Obviously, it's janky, it's unofficial, there are probably going to be some glitches and some problems, but it's on sale now because of the winter sale. Try it out. It works. And then you can also play the amazing selection of unofficial and community-made mobs and maps, such as levitation, from here to there, Zahaptics. There's some really good stuff. And now that a wider audience will be able to play Half-Life Alyx related stuff, maybe there's a wider audience for Half-Life Alyx related modding videos. Who knows? If you want to see more Half-Life Alyx related workshop reviews and spotlights, let me know in the comments. I'm very interested in doing it. I just want to know if there's actually an audience for it. Links to everything down in the description below. I highly recommend checking this out if you are at all curious. Even if you've already played Half-Life Alyx, it definitely turns it into something completely different. Again, this is not Valve level quality polish. That's impossible. And the undertaking that they have done here is already credible feat. So it's just so cool to see. It's free, it's on ModDB, it's very easy to launch and install. I am super appreciative that you're spending a couple of minutes with me this morning, evening, afternoon, or night. And if you want to keep up with everything that we're doing over here, check out my Discord server. The invite link to that's in the description, or my Twitter page, X page. Twitter's probably going to get phased out soon, but my Twitter page is still there. Link to that also down in the description below. If you want to support videos like this, check out my Patreon or Floatplane, also down in the description below, and I will talk to you all next time. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. Peace and hair grease. Adios.